From racist Mississippi farmers to knife-wielding cult blood-cringing babysitters, this is Movie Sense. I'm your host, DJ Selby, and I got a special treat for you on Get Your Fix on Netflix. For this episode of Get Your Fix on Netflix, I got a really good movie for you. It is Mudbound. Mudbound, directed by Dee Rees, a writer-director who is one to watch out for in the Oscars. Mudbound is a drama that takes place in rural Mississippi during World War II. A family man played by Jason Clarke and his dream to own a farm with his wife and 2 daughters crosses paths with another family man played by Rob Morgan in what appears to be bordering on racial dominance with worker-boss relationship between the two. And a B-story presenting a possible friendship of 2 military men, one white and one black, who seem to have more in common than with their own racially inept families. A movie like this does not come around very often, and when it does, take time and watch and appreciate a well-made film that depicts controversial incidents that took place in a less aware time. If you like a good drama that reminds you of the weakness and strengths of human connection, then this movie is for you. This movie is beautifully made, beautifully done and directed. A lot of these actors put in just raw emotions into this film. You get to see what it was like for 2 different families coming from 2 different backgrounds to interact with each other, regardless of race. This tackles a lot of those controversial events that take place. Something that we shouldn't forget, something that we should remember and try to correct in the future as human beings. This movie gives me some of those uneasy, surreal feelings that I've got from watching other movies like Mississippi Burning, Django Unchained, and Detroit. This movie is representing what it's like to be back then during that time in Mississippi, a state that's very well known for a lot of its racial divide. This is a solid 4.5 stars in my Netflix list to watch. Here's a little bit of a different genre. This is a thriller drama with a lot of horror elements to it, Gerald's Game. Directed by Mike Flanagan and adapted from a Stephen King novel. This movie is about a couple who retreats to a beautiful cabin in order to rekindle their relationship and hopefully spice things up in the bedroom. During a sexual romp gone wrong, Carla's character finds herself in a compromising life or death situation. She needs to gather her thoughts in order to save herself, but will she be able to when the buried memories of the past come to haunt her? This movie had me initially reluctant to watch, and I'll be honest with you, reason why is because I thought it would be boring. A lot of those escape movie kind of boring where it takes place in one scene only and nothing really changes up. That is not the case. I was glad to be wrong and proved wrong by this movie. There are layers on top of layers that keep you invested in Carla's performance. And the scenes with horror elements are built up and thoroughly delivered on. There are scenes where I literally cringed and I was shocked by how intense and how graphic they got. If you want to be shocked and enthralled by something intense as in a performance by Carla Gugino in this amazing movie, then Gerald's Game is for you. Alright, now moving on to a dark comedy, something that I personally enjoyed that was on Netflix. I really had fun watching this movie. The Babysitter. And no, this is not like that throwback 90s family show, The Babysitter's Club, although that is a good show. This is a classic boy who has a crush on his hot, cool babysitter, and the not-so-classic babysitter is in a cult and likes to sacrifice nerds. Yeah, this is the cool babysitter. This movie showcases what a young kid will do to save his butt when he comes toe-to-toe with blood-cringing hot 20-somethings who kill with little remorse. There's some of the usual tropes of a horror comedy in there, such as the stupid small-town cops who are obviously of no help, and the whole track home neighborhood that can't hear the screams of a boy running through his front yard. When I watch this movie, I get vibes of like Home Alone meets Zombieland meets The Evil Dead. If you want to shut off your brain and get entertained, then watch The Babysitter. Alright, now moving on to an action adventure crime movie. This is What Happened to Monday. Starring some big names such as Willem Dafoe, Glenn Close, and Noomi Rapace. This movie takes place in the dystopian future world with limited food resources. There is now a law that's one-child law, very similar to China's old one-child law. However, this one has a little bit of a spin to it. If the family has more than one kid, the remaining kids have to be put to sleep in some sort of a cryo chamber until resources are once whole again. Grandfather must father 7 baby girls known as septuplets while hiding 6 of them. So that's basically 3 triplets, 2 triplets, I don't know. It's a lot. And there is action, suspense, violence, and shady public figures with hidden agendas. I'm looking at you, Glenn Close. I like this approach on a world with limited resources and the world with increased security and what may seem like absurd laws and consequences. This movie never slows down and does not hesitate to shock you at the very least. There is some thinking involved, but it's nice to piece together the puzzle along with main characters till the very end. If you want to watch a solid action movie where the stakes get raised to the point to where you don't know much more and how much more crazier it can get, but at the same time still find yourself questioning what you would do, then this is the movie for you. What Happened to Monday? Only on Netflix. Alright everybody, so here are my choices right here. I got Mudbound, Gerald's Game, The Babysitter, and What Happened to Monday. You tell me which one you like. Watch all of them. Until next time, this is Movie Sense. I'm out.